Chapter 1, Objectives. In this chapter, we're going to learn what the term chemistry and chemicals actually mean. We're going to write the names and abbreviations for our metric units of length, like meters or millimeters, volume, like liters or milliliters, mass, which is in grams, temperature, not only in Fahrenheit, which we think of, but in Celsius and Kelvin. We can also write a number in scientific notation. Actually, we're going to write lots of numbers in scientific notation, and vice versa, be able to take a number that's in scientific notation and understand what that number actually means. Identify numbers as measured or exact. Determine the number of significant figures used. We're going to adjust calculated answers once we've done our calculations to make sure that our answer is in the correct number of significant figures. We're going to use the numerical values of prefixes and write a metric equality. So 12 inches is how many millimeters or whatever kind of conversions. We're going to be able to write a conversion factor for 2 units that we can then use when we're doing dimensional analysis to convert from one unit to another. We're going to calculate the density of a substance, and then we're going to be able to use that density to calculate the mass or volume of a substance, or vice versa. And actually, we're going to be doing a lab, a density lab, that we're going to be learning more about densities. So in our first section 1.1, we're just kind of learning about how, chemicals are our everyday life and all around us. So chemistry is the study of the composition, structure, properties, and reactions of matter. And yes, it does happen around you every day. Here we have plop, plop, fizz, fizz. As we throw the antacid tablets in our water and a chemical reaction's going on, those bubbles that are produced are when the CO2, the carbon dioxide bubbles are given off. Why do you have your tires when it's cold outside? Why have they lost a little bit of air pressure? That's another thing. Or why do hot air balloons work? Or why is a balloon that you blow up with your air, why does it not float, yet a helium balloon does float? Anyway, chemistry actually explains a lot of things of what's going on all around you. One of the words they use in chemistry is matter. And when they're talking about matter, they don't mean like, hey, what's the matter with you? But really, it's another word for the substances that make up our world, and they more specifically normally will say it's anything that has mass and takes up space. So, using that definition, rather than all the substances that make up our world, we see that yes, antacid tablets are matter. Water is matter. Glass is matter. Air is matter. And you go, wait, I don't see air. Well, it does actually have a mass and it takes up space. Believe me, try breathing without air. Different branches of chemistry. In our book that we're going to be using, we're going to be studying a little bit of general chemistry, a little bit of organic chemistry, and a little bit of biochemistry. So you will notice that the field of chemistry is divided into branches. So if we talk about organic chemistry, that is the study of substances that contain carbon, is what it's defined as. It's more than that, but that's the definition. And general chemistry, the study of composition, properties, reactions of matter, and in general chemistry really is where we do most of our math. You go, oh, no, not math. Well, it's okay, all right? We learn about chemistry, and then we can then do all sorts of different calculations to predict future reactions. Besides those chemistries, sometimes when we combine chemistries like geology and chemistry, geochemistry, or biology and chemistry, there we have our biochemistry. And so notice with biochemistry, biology, and chemistry, that's going to be our last unit. And that's going to be where it's going to tie in your biology that you've had along with this chemistry, and it's going to just make the whole world come together. And it's going to be just great that you'll be able to understand a lot of things that you didn't even know that you had a question about. And so when we talk about chemicals are substances that have the same composition and properties wherever found. So, when the company is making your Colgate toothpaste, that recipe that they use should hopefully be the same recipe for their Colgate Total for all the different Colgate Total tubes that go out there. Or let's say that they're going to make deodorant. Well, that deodorant should be the same can of deodorant as the same brand at somebody else's store back in Iowa. All right. And it says often substances are made by chemists that you use every day. If you look around, it really is like your shampoo. They actually go into lots of studying on what shampoo works best in what situation, or your soaps, or what medicines. Anyway, it talks about toothpaste is a combination of chemicals, just like a lot of different things that you're going to use is a combination of chemicals. So then if we go to the next slide after that, when we look at the kitchen, the stuff in our kitchen, look at all the different things. Everything even in our kitchen, whether it's the type of metal fridge, or whether it's your ice machine in the fridge that's going to take water and make ice, or whether it's the natural gas that's going to be burning on your stove, or whether it's the metal on the grates of your stove, or your glass window, or your water, or your apples. Everything about you has something to do with chemistry and chemical reactions. So let's see, which of the following contains chemicals? Sunlight. Nope. Fruit and milk. Well, yeah, okay. So notice, it says which of the following, we're going to go to the next slide, which of the following contains chemicals? Sunlight's energy. Well, energy is not classified as a chemical. Okay, energy, yes, we do all sorts of calculations determining how much energy is going to be given off on chemical reactions, but it's not a chemical per se. And we know that fruits do contain chemicals, and milk also.